Volodymyr Zelensky opens a new war on oil as the global energy crisis continues to deepen. Ukraine strikes a Russian refinery amid worldwide fuel shocks and rising fears over supply disruptions. Russia's energy heartland comes under attack as global oil markets remain volatile and increasingly fragile. Kyiv's expanding strikes threaten to trigger further instability across already shaken global energy markets. Ukraine launched overnight drone strikes on the Rosneft-owned Syzran oil refinery located in Russia's Samara oblast. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky described the May 21 strike as another long-range sanction targeting Russia's oil infrastructure. Zelensky stated that the targeted facility is located more than 800 kilometers from Ukraine's border, highlighting the range of Kyiv's drone operations. The Ukrainian president also posted footage on X showing a large fire and thick smoke rising above the refinery complex after the strike. Authorities in Samara region said 2 people were killed during a drone attack on the town of Syzran. Russian officials did not specify whether the refinery itself suffered direct operational damage during the incident. Ukraine's unmanned systems forces stated that the attack caused a major fire at the facility, according to Reuters. The Syzran refinery is capable of processing approximately 8.9 million tons of oil annually. The plant supplies products including gasoline, diesel fuel, and aviation fuel for domestic and industrial use. The facility is also reported to support logistical fuel supplies linked to Russian military operations. The refinery had previously been targeted in another reported strike during December 2025. Ukraine's Drone Forces Command said this was the 11th Russian oil refinery targeted during the month of May. Kyiv has increasingly focused on Russian energy infrastructure in an effort to disrupt fuel supplies and military logistics networks. The strikes are also intended to increase economic pressure on Moscow as the conflict continues over an extended period. Analysts say Ukraine is steadily expanding the reach of its long-range drone campaign deeper into Russian territory. The latest attack highlights Kyiv's growing ability to target high-value energy infrastructure located far from active frontline areas. Russia and Ukraine continue exchanging heavy blows even as Vladimir Putin attends a high-stakes summit meeting with Xi Jinping in Beijing. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has triggered Moscow's fury following fresh attacks targeting Russia's critical oil infrastructure. On May 20, Ukraine allegedly struck one of Russia's largest oil refineries for the second time within just a few days. The Ukrainian strike reportedly sparked a massive blaze at the refinery located in Russia's Nizhny Novgorod Oblast region. According to reports, waves of Ukrainian drones caused the fire and triggered multiple explosions across the refinery complex. This marks the second deliberate Ukrainian attack targeting Russian oil infrastructure within the span of a single week. Earlier on May 17, Ukraine had already targeted the same refinery, which reportedly produces around 17 million tons of oil annually. On May 15, another Rosneft-linked oil facility in Russia's Ryazan region also came under attack from Ukrainian drones. In the aftermath of the strikes, operations at refineries in both Moscow and Ryazan were reportedly halted as a precautionary measure. However, Reuters reported that the Ukrainian attack did not cause catastrophic damage and refinery operations were suspended mainly for safety reasons. A chemicals and fertilizer facility in Russia's southern Stavropol Krai also reportedly faced a barrage of Ukrainian attacks. Reports claimed the targeted chemical plant was allegedly being used as an ammunition depot supporting Russian military operations. Russian command posts located across Donetsk, Kherson, and Zaporizhzhia regions were also reportedly struck by Ukrainian forces. Ukraine's defense forces further claimed they had destroyed a Russian military base located in the Donetsk region. According to reports, Ukrainian attack drones were used to ignite a massive fire at the Russian military facility in Donetsk. On May 20, Russia unleashed a deadly wave of retaliatory airstrikes targeting multiple locations across Ukraine. The Russian barrage reportedly struck residential buildings, commercial businesses, and several other sites across Ukrainian territory. Reports claimed that Russia launched one ballistic missile along with 154 drones during a single coordinated assault wave. According to the Kyiv Independent, at least 20 locations across Ukraine were hit, leaving 8 people dead and 54 injured. In Sumy, a Russian strike reportedly collapsed a residential building and killed at least one civilian during the attack. Large-scale Russian bombardment also triggered widespread electricity disruptions across parts of the Sumy region. Ukraine's port city of Odessa also witnessed severe destruction, with several buildings reportedly engulfed in flames after the strikes. Meanwhile, Moscow has strongly condemned Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky over the latest escalation in attacks. On May 18th, a Kremlin spokesperson claimed that Zelensky's aggressive actions were undermining ongoing peace negotiations.
Russian President Vladimir Putin, Chinese President Xi Jinping will meet about 4 times in a year.
But they talk more often. They talk on the phone and so on.
Both countries, Russian and American, express support for the APEC summit, which will take place here in China in the autumn. And it seems that maybe there will be a meeting not only in such formats.
Summits are held in order to hold the most diverse meetings with participants on the fields of summits. Putin has confirmed his readiness to take part, to come. Let's see who will be the rest of the participants, who will and will certainly remain in the two-way meeting schedule.
What about trilateral formats?
That hasn't been discussed yet.
How are these negotiations going?
As you witness, they are very good, as usual, very businesslike, substantive.
The informal chat taking place over tea this evening doesn't seem to have a...
No, there is... Why? There was a similar meeting with Trump. Indeed, time and again we hear bellicose statements. These are not the sort of statements that would help foster the spirit of peace talks. This only served to underline and prove once again who the main obstacle to a peaceful solution is. It is Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. Moscow remains open for a peaceful path. It is preferable for us. But against the background of Zelensky's military statements, we must and will continue a special military operation until we achieve our goals. The main thing against the background of Zelensky's statements is to take measures, and I have no doubt that our military is doing so to minimize the risks, first of all, for our people and for our infrastructure. The Russian President Vladimir Putin just said the talks that in general there are 2 main parameters of understanding of the power of Siberia 2. There is one on the route and one on how it will be built. Some nuances remain to be agreed, but in general such an understanding is already available.
$25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that look, you will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest news makers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the US will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry ghats.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Deep dive into burning issues.
It's often said DRC could be the richest country in the whole world. It's because of what sits underneath.
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HD videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.